Hey guys, in case you're wondering whether Questrade is a great investment platform or not, then this video is for you. In this video, I'll walk you through the good, the bad, and everything in between when it comes to Questrade. So at the end of this video, you can confidently decide whether Questrade is for you or not. And just a quick heads up guys, so you don't miss out on an easy $50 cashback. If at any point in this video you want to sign up for Questrade, you can just use my affiliate link down below in the descriptions, or use my affiliate code Living in Canada to get your $50 cashback once you open and fund your account with at least $250. Now let's dive in guys. I know that some of you just want a fast answer, so here's the gist up front. Based on my experience of using Questrade for a bit over a year now, I think that Questrade is a solid choice for both beginners because it's easy to use and has low fees, but also great for more experienced investors because it offers more advanced products and services. And if you want me to break this down in more detail and find out what I think the platform might be lacking, then continue watching. We'll talk about different investment modes, account types, account minimum, funding and withdrawal options, security, investment products, fees, currency conversion, order types, day-to-day banking functions, user interface, automation, documents, customer support quality, education resources, and advanced features. Now note guys, this video is not sponsored by Questrade, so anything that I say in this video is actually based on my own experience and opinion. So first things first guys, Questrade is a Canadian company, so it is 100% Canadian owned. Now, this is important because you can rest assured that your money is protected under the Canadian law, your deposits are insured, and the institution is fully accountable to local regulations. Questrade's also been in the market since 1999. That is 26 years, so it has a proven track record. Let's start with something I like to call investing mode. With Questrade, you have the option between self-directed investing, also known as DIY investing, and managed investing, called Quest Wealth Portfolios here. With self-directed investing, you're completely and directly in control of each investment choice. You decide exactly what and when you want to buy and sell and what amount. And the great thing is that there are no management fees because, well, you are the one managing your own investments. Whereas with managed investing, someone else, so professionals, experts, or sometimes called robo-advisor, does the investing for you. In exchange for that service, you will have to pay what's called a management fee. With Questrade, it's quite low, starting at 0.25%, but it can still add up. Personally, I only do self-directed investing because A, I like to have maximum flexibility and like learning about investment decisions, and B, I don't like the idea of paying a management fee. So in this video, we're only going to talk about the self-directed investing option. Guys, before I go on, I'm just curious to know, is this your first time investing, or do you already have an investment account with another broker and are thinking about switching or even adding another account? Let me know in the comments below. I'd really love to know. Now, next, let's talk about the different account types Questrade has. Questrade has both non-registered and registered accounts. Remember that when you invest in non-registered accounts, you need to pay taxes on any investment income you earn in those. But when you invest in registered accounts, in general, you can save taxes on your capital gains, dividends, and interest. So consider opening and investing in your registered accounts first. Questrade has the full range of registered accounts, including the TFSA, RSP, ESP, FHSA, LIRA, also the LIF, RRIF, and more. The only account type I don't see available right now is the RDSP, but I don't think that comparable competitors to Questrade have them either at the moment. So for me, these are more than enough accounts, as I personally only need the TFSA and the RSP mainly for tax saving purposes. And it's super easy and fast to open one of these accounts through the Questrade app. In the app, you just click on New Account and you can open your accounts completely online. And guys, in case you need a detailed walkthrough, I have a Questrade video tutorial up here that you can watch later. And if you need more information on what a TFSA, RSP, FHSA, and so on is, and which one you should invest in, then you can watch this video later. And if you're enjoying my video so far and want to get notified whenever I launch a new video on how to build wealth in Canada, then please consider subscribing and turn on all notifications to make sure you'll not miss my next video. Now next, let's talk about account minimums. Luckily, unlike many big banks that require a minimum of $500 or even $1,000 to get started trading, with Questrade, you can open a self-directed investing account and start with just zero. So you can easily try it out and see if it works for you. And that's also one of the reasons why I very easily opened a second investment account with Questrade. I'm just letting you know, guys, I've actually been investing on another investment platform for years now. But even though I've been very happy with them, I still decided to open a second investment account with Questrade for the following reason. And this is something that not many people think about: platform diversification. Personally, I do not like having all of my investments just on one platform, just in case. I like having my investments on a few different platforms because that gives me flexibility and options. That way, I'm never reliant on just one single platform. That's just something to consider in case you already invest somewhere else. It doesn't necessarily mean you have to switch, but instead you can just open a new additional account. So note, guys, while there is no account minimum to start a self-directed account, in order to get that $50 cashback I told you about earlier using my link, you need to deposit at least $250. Now next, let's talk about funding your account and, very important, withdrawing your money. On Questrade, you have many ways to move your money. I usually do all of this on the Questrade app. So when you go to this button, Move Money here, you can go to Deposit Money and add funds to your Questrade account. So there you'll see that you can deposit money by bill payment, pre-authorized debit, Visa debit card, Interact transfer, and wire transfer. I usually like to use Interact transfer. It says here that it takes up to 30 minutes, but based on my experience, it's almost instant and allows transfers up to $3,000, even $10,000, depending on the bank you transfer the funds from. If you need to move larger amounts than that, then you can use the Visa debit or wire transfer option. As for transferring money out, there is a withdrawal option. Here, you can simply connect your bank account you want to transfer the funds to. And again, it's nice that you have several options here. You can withdraw your money using EFT. Here it says that there are no fees, and there's also wire transfer below here with a fee. Next, guys, let's talk about safety and security. On the Questrade platform, you can, or rather should, use 2SV or two-step verification to keep your account safe. Or you can also use a mobile authenticator app. If your phone has it, you can also use biometrics like fingerprint or face recognition. These are all supported by the Questrade app. Now guys, moving on, what all of you surely have been waiting for, let's talk about the investment products offered by Questrade. On Questrade, I'd say that you can find almost all investment products. The main ones most beginners look for, including stocks, ETFs, mutual funds, GICs, and bonds. Then there are also more intermediate level products like options, IPOs, where you can buy shares offered to the public for the first time. You can also invest directly into precious metal and even do FX trading. There's even something more advanced called CFDs, or contracts for difference, where you trade the price movement of an underlying asset like a stock without actually owning it. But in case you're just starting with investing, don't worry about these last things I mentioned, because the main products you want to have access to are basically stocks and ETFs, and probably GICs and bonds for some. Personally, I only use Questrade to invest in stocks and ETFs, but I think that their GIC page is also useful, as you get to compare all GIC rates at once instead of going from one bank's website to the other to find the best rate. Check out my video on how to buy GICs on Questrade in case you're interested. Now here's something that might be a small minus for some, and that is that you cannot buy cryptocurrencies, including Bitcoin, on Questrade. Now, this could be a downside for some who like to have all of their investments on one platform. Another investment, well, Simple, you might have heard, does offer cryptocurrencies, including Bitcoin, and that way you can have all your investments in one account and see all the balances. But personally, it's no big deal for me because I use other platforms to buy Bitcoin. I mainly use Questrade as a second alternative investment platform for the more plain vanilla investments like stocks and ETFs, including, for example, the VFV or VOO, to invest in the S&P 500. And as I mentioned earlier, I do like that they offer GICs, so just in case I do want to stash away some money, 5K or 10K, while making sure that the principal is protected, but at the same time earning some considerable interest, I can do that. I can buy GICs in my Questrade account directly. So guys, next, let's talk about one of the most important things, which which is fees. And this is something many investors, even experienced ones, overlook. If you have a bunch of fees like account fees, maintenance fees, trading fees, these can quickly add up and eat into your gains, and you don't want that. You want your money to continue growing fast and not get drained by extra charges. So for the longest time, Questrade has been charging trading fees, but not anymore. Sometime this year, they've done away with the fees, so now there are no commissions anymore when you trade stocks and ETFs. And this is quite a game changer since many traditional banks still charge $10 per trade, or they offer zero trading fees but only on selected ETFs. If you ask me, I really don't need this. I don't want to pay trading fees, so Questrade's got that covered. Now, what about currency conversion fees? Questrade supports what is called Norbert's Gambit. You may not be actively trading foreign currencies, but you'll still be affected whenever you buy non-Canadian stocks. So when you buy a US stock, for example, that is quoted in US dollars, you will need to convert your Canadian dollars to US dollars. But don't worry, Questrade will do this for you when you purchase a US stock. However, they will charge you a currency exchange fee of 1.5%, which, to be fair, is pretty standard in the industry. There is, however, a way around paying this fee, which is by using a method called Norbert's Gambit. So this is basically a currency conversion technique of journaling shares, usually used by more advanced traders. So when you do this, you can avoid currency conversion fees. But note that it may not always be worth it because there's a $9.95 fee per request unless you have Questrade Plus. But with Questrade Plus, there is a monthly fee, and that negates the whole point of not wanting to pay any monthly fees. So let's just say you want to buy $1,000 worth of stocks. A fee of about $10 would be 1%. If you ask me, it's not really worth it going through that journaling process in that case. I'd rather just pay the 1.5% currency exchange fee. Of course, it's a different thing if you trade $5,000 or $10,000 all at once, then doing Norbert's Gambit can be worth it. Next up, let's talk about order types on Questrade. You have the option of trading at market price, so the current price of a stock, for example, or at the limit price. This means that you can set a certain price at which you want to buy a stock, which is usually lower than the current price. Let's say stock ABC's price is $50 at the moment, but you don't want to buy it now. Instead, you want to wait until it goes lower to, let's say, $47. So you can set that $47 as a limit purchase. So once the price hits $47, Questrade will automatically execute the trade for you. Another advantage Questrade has is also that it allows you to trade US stocks outside of the standard market hours, which are usually 9:30 a.m. to 4 p.m. Eastern Time. Questrade offers one of the longest extended hours in Canada, from 4 a.m. to 8 p.m. Eastern Time, for US listed stocks and ETFs. So Questrade has all you need for trading, but what about day-to-day banking functions, in case you need that? So this is something that might be lacking for some people. At the moment of recording this video, at least, Questrade does not have a credit or debit card, and I have no idea whether they ever plan to have them. But personally, it doesn't bother me at all because there are plenty of other options for daily banking. For example, there is EQ Bank, in case you haven't heard of that offers really great and easy day-to-day banking, and also with no fees and no account minimums. And they even have something that's called a personal account, where you can earn 3% on your money just by depositing your payroll into it. And yes, you will get a debit card for that. In case you want to sign up for EQ Bank, you can use my link in the descriptions down below. So the fact that Questrade doesn't have debit or credit cards doesn't bother me at all because I'm just using Questrade for long-term investing. Now guys, what about the user interface and experience? To be honest, it's actually okay. It's quite easy and intuitive to use, but to be really honest, for some reason, it took me a while to get used to the layout and the text and the design overall. I just find that the text in the app is a bit small, or is it just me getting old? And there are some options, features that are available on desktop, like the full list of GICs I earlier told you about, but not on the app. I think that overall the layout could be better designed in terms of color contrast and so on, but it's not a big deal. So in that case, you might ask, why do I still use Questrade? As I mentioned before, for platform diversification purposes. I like to have options, so in case for whatever reason one platform doesn't work, hey, it happens sometimes, or there's some problem, I still have another one. But again, no big deal. Everything you need for daily trading is on the app and is easy to use, no problem at all. And now let's talk about some extra features, for example, automated investing. On Questrade, you can automate your investing to some extent. You can, for example, set up a PAD or a pre-authorized deposit. You can do this on desktop as well as on your app. You'll have to first connect your bank account to Questrade and then set an amount, let's say $500, and then you can set up an instruction for your bank to automatically deposit $500 every week, for example, or every 2 weeks or every 4 weeks, and that way you do not have to remind yourself to keep investing. And then there's another awesome thing called fractional shares. You know, sometimes there are really expensive shares like Google share here, which costs over $250 and you don't have the money together yet. With a fractional share functionality, you do not need to wait until you have the money to buy a full share, but instead you can just buy half a share, for example, or even less. Here, for example, I entered 0.5 shares. So the app calculates for me the total amount I have to pay for half the share, which is $128.73 US dollars instead of the full 257 something. And now let's talk about documents. I'm sure you know you got to report any income you earn on your investments during tax reporting, and even if you didn't sell anything and have no investment income, you still want to have a good overview of your investments. On Questrade, you can easily access this under the tab called Documents. So here you'll be able to access your investments, one document for each account by month. And this is just great. And guys, I wish I could give feedback about the customer support quality, but I haven't been interacting much with them because I just didn't need it. I just figured out everything on the app. But just so you know, in the Questrade app, there is a help or support button where you can get help by calling them or chatting. I personally prefer chat because you can always do something else while waiting for them to reply. Now, where I think that Questrade stands out is the amount of educational resources they have on their website. So if you're ever stuck and don't understand something, you can just go to this tab here called Learning, and you'll find hundreds, thousands of articles on investing. Everything from the basics to what a TFSA or RSP is and how to set up financial goals and so on. And also a quick word on the more advanced features. There are some cool features you might not want to use now, but maybe in the future, in case you want to become a more active trader or simply go into more detail with your investments. There's this tier called Questrade Plus that offers additional trading services. It costs $11.95 per month, and for that you'll get real-time streaming data for free online journaling for that Norbert Gambit's currency conversion I mentioned earlier, and access to Passive Elite, with which you can automatically rebalance your portfolio. Personally, I do not use this. I don't think it's really necessary because I keep investing simple. It's just in case you're interested. So guys, all in all, I think that Questrade's self-directed investment platform is a great option for all those of you who want easy, fast, flexible, and especially cheap investing. It has everything you need as a beginner investor and even intermediate and more advanced features. So guys, what do you think about Questrade so far? Are you already investing elsewhere? And what do you think about the idea of opening more than one trading account? And remember guys, in case you want to get that $50 cashback, make sure that you use my affiliate link in the descriptions below when you open your Questrade account. Thank you so much guys for watching, and I'll see you next time.